Okay, we are running the body shop report, doing it the new way that you don't have to use SPJ function, and it's just an export. So first thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and change our default printer uh, to be not Chuck or whatever you have on there, but a DSDA printer. So you can type in whatever you want. The one that most typically everybody has access to is called DSDA WBMW-I, right there, DSDA WBMW-I, and these are basically folders on where you want the stuff to print. Once you have three out of that function, go into running your report. We are obviously going to want to be running it for WBSW-I. Hit the CP-CSH. That's the report name. And then you're going to start it for whatever month. So if today we are going to do for the month of May, dot 15, we go ahead and enter the beginning, the last day of the month, and then we type in all customers and we hit enter. Once we get past all that, it's kind of doing everything in the background. It just disappears. Once that's done, we're going to go into the search function under DSDA document search. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're actually in the right folder. If you remember, we had it go into a folder called WBMW DSDA. These are all DSDA. You probably won't have as many as I do, but you will see WBMW-I. Once you hit that, it then says, okay, I'm going to look at it into this folder because I have so many folders. It's going to search them into all of them. And then we want to hit one that says, when was it archived? So we don't get a million folders. We just want to see what today is. Now, what it does here is it brings up all the invoices, everything that's been digitally printed onto DSDA. The way you can decipher the ones that are regular invoices, one, you'll see when this comes up and is finished running, that it will actually have invoice numbers or credit memo numbers or things like that, and they're always in sequence. So our credit numbers start with 98, and that's how usually you can tell that if it's invoice not. You see these are all files. You can put them up and down. Some of that stuff's accounting stuff that you don't really need, but all these are copies of invoices. At the very bottom is usually where you find the miscellaneous folder. See right here it says miscellaneous, and that's where you'll be able to run your weathership or your body shop report. Um, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead. I ran this a couple of times, so it's got a few of them on there, but you can kind of see here that I can go ahead and click the folder. Once I go ahead and click on the folder that I want, I can see that this is my body shop report. It's page 1 in today's date, and it's running from May 1st to May 31st. Once you hit that, you're going to see a little button called DA Export. It's usually on your toolbar, and it gives you all sorts of options. You're going to hit the text option. From the text option, it says what folder do you want to save it onto. I have all mine going to DA Export, but you can hit browse and you can just have it say I want it to go to my desktop. Once you put in your desktop, you name the file, spiffy file, and go ahead and export it or whatever, body shop report, export it, and it goes right into your desktop. So if you were to find it, it's right here. It looks like a little piece of paper because it's a pure rich text file. So once you have that text file, you're going to go ahead and open your Excel 2013, hit your workbook, comes your new pages, go to your ribbon and go under the data. You hit the from text. If you are short, you're going to be like, where is it? It's right here, from text folder. So always maximize it so that you get all your menu. When you hit from text folder, go ahead and find it. We put it on our desktop and we called it spiffy file. You go ahead and open it, and then from here, what you do is, this is basically everything that you got printed. If you can see, this is the information that we want. Typically it's on 7. You see where it says reference customer. I go ahead and put it onto, go ahead and have it start where that is at, because it gets all jumbled up. Or just hit the next function, and then from here we want to make sure these are columns, and we want to make columns. Make sure your part numbers aren't cut off. Yep, everything's in line. So this is how it's going to export right into Excel. Hit the finish function. It's going to ask you what cell do you want to put it into. Usually you have that one highlighted already. Hit OK and it puts it in there. So Go ahead and just delete that stuff here because you don't need it. Lift shows up. That was just a right click. I take this cell, delete it, right click. From here, what I do is I go ahead and hit the A column on the top, hit sort, and it says, yeah, I want to expand the selection to cover everything. Make sure my headers is checked, and I want to hit reference from smallest to largest. I then hit control down, and it takes me to the very last cell of that, or you can just go right here. If you have more, control down, you can go all the way to the bottom. And from here, I just want to go ahead and delete all this nonsense that we don't need, that's not very valuable. Once you delete that, go up to your cell, hit delete, and you want to shift them up, left, hit OK. And then from there, let's go to word receipt. What I always do is I click at the end of the cell, and I go all the way to the bottom here, all the way across. Then I hit Control Shift Up. Again, that's Control Shift Up, and it highlights everything. Go back to your Insert tab. On your Insert tab, you see Table. You click on the table, you get the little dancing ants all over the place. My table has headers row. Click OK. It then gives you a warning. Just hit Yes, and then it gets it all nice and pretty for you. Now remember, we don't want to accidentally submit all the non BMW stuff. You can do the same thing here. These are called little filter buttons, so we want to take all the makes that are not BMW. So right now everything's selected. I check the unselected and it deselects everything, and I hit the BMW, and you hit OK. So vice versa, if you just wanted to know your aftermarket brands, you would obviously hit all of them and deselect BMW if that's the report that you wanted. But the report we want is just BMW. And then what it does now is it puts everything in BMW. Very important. Don't send anything aftermarket. Go down this list and just scroll down a couple times. Make sure that there's no aftermarket part numbers on there because they will penalize us if we submit. So I don't see anything there, and I'm good. Now the last thing you want to do is click anywhere on this range, on this table right here. Don't click here, but on the range. When you're on the range, you see a thing called Table Design Tools. See right here, I click here, you're like, where is it? Click right here, and it comes on Design Table. Once you hit that, hit a button here, it says Total Row. Once you check that, it'll total that bottom row. You go ahead and click here, and you get these little arrows to drop down, go to Sum, and it will actually sum up the whole thing for you there. Okay, and that is the report. Go ahead and save it, email it, do whatever you need to do with it, and you get the full report. And that's it. If you have any questions, just give me a call back.